Single Simulcast is about a lot of things. This podcast may make you laugh, cry, or pound your fists into your desk. If you hear something you like or something you don't, leave a voicemail at 916-572-9016 or email us at singlesimulcast@gmail.com.
1. Single Simulcast.
Single Simulcast episode 320. Shantae's here. I'm here. And we are joined by the Rainebeaux, which is always a blessing within itself. Rainebeaux, how you doing today?
Not too bad. I've been messed up as of late, but I'm trying to detach from outcomes, be all stoic and peace and love and shit, but the way my anxiety is set up, it doesn't want me to be average, much less great. But again, I'm otherwise adequate. And my commute home was okay, given the Jason Van Dyke verdict. It wasn't as apocalyptic as I imagined. I actually got home in one piece, and I'm grateful for that. I'm surprised he was convicted of anything, much less all but 2 of 19 counts. So that would mean, I guess John Burge is going to get a USB rechargeable wedgie from Leona Helmsley while he's getting his orientation on in hell, or so I would imagine. And Kim Jong-il is looking at him, smirking at him like, you could have stopped that. You could have stopped that, right? Psst, amateur. Should have put your son on the force. That's why I got my son up there. See, you know you're fucked up, don't you? Yeah. But again, that's just me. You know me, my imagination is on an even trillion. It's okay. Just talk amongst yourselves. My ratchet was low and I missed being here. So, although I was feeling kind of down and I've been touch and go for the past few weeks, I just miss being here and talking to y'all and talking to everybody. I just started getting a bit of withdrawal this week. Like, okay, my ratchet chicken levels are low. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in the rope right quick. So,
well, as you know, you're always welcome. So, it's nothing. Just let us know, and we always got a spot for you. Unless we don't, at which point then it'll be like awkward. Because I mean the limit. I think that the limit for the show, like the capacity, has to be 5. I don't know if we've ever done more than 5 people on the show before. I just feel like it wouldn't work.
You've done it. It's been years, but you've done it.
Well, when I did it, I was like, it was me, and it was BS. It was before Shantae, so I was able to have those folks on. There was a round table, so folks would respect the boundaries and all that kind of stuff. But now that we haven't done a hip hop roundtable or anything like that in a while, it's like the wild, wild west when you have more than 5 people on the show. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all.
Sometimes I think 4 is the sweet spot.
Right?
I feel like 5 gets it's like right, like 4 is the sweet spot, and then 5 is like you guys probably shouldn't add any more people.
Mm-hmm.
It's pushing it. I would say 5 is pushing it as a listener, even.
Unless you are rolling like Crew Thick, where you have to have like the show that you have on has 3 people. Other than that, I'm not striving to have like 6 people on a show or even 5 people. I mean, I love the shows that have 3 people and all that good stuff, but stop. Like I can't. There's just too much floating around and people get left out. And like when we had the illustrious folks from March's Plate on the show, I think Z talked maybe for like 3 minutes out of 2 hours.
Yeah.
And when Z did talk, it was like, yo, Z. And then it was like, oh, bye, Z. Like, I agree. And then it was just over. And it was like, good words. That's good words right there. So, as long as it's like 3 people and you're like, I want to join in, it's good. But if it's like 4 people, then it turns to the Hunger Games and we got to choose a number between 1 and 10. And, people got to find their way on in. Actually, what's going to start happening is this. If there's like 5 people on the show, I'm just going to drop the fuck out. I'm just going to drop out. That'll be the episode where Shantae carries the show as host and just does the damn thing. Because it should have been happening a long time ago anyway. Where you were like just the main host and I was just like quietly sitting there just nodding in the corner like the significant other in all those Maury vignettes.
Damn.
Oh no, not Maury.
You know the ones where the dude is like saying like the most horrible misogynistic things like she's a liar and she slept with like 15 people. So how she know the baby's mine? I got a job. But she ain't got no job. Therefore, the baby can't be mine. When I met her, she was a month pregnant. And she said that she wasn't because she went into a time warp. That baby can't be mine, Maury. Look at that baby's face. And then look at my face. And then look at her face. And then look at the face on my radio because it's dope. It changes colors and stuff. And then you'll see that baby can't be mine, Maury. And every single stupid thing that guy says, there's a lady standing in the background, whether it's his mama or his new girlfriend, nodding their ass off. Just nodding their head like a straight junkie. And he could say something like, more on 9/11, she flew a plane. They be in the back nodding. They ain't even listen to what he's saying. They just standing there with you know what it looks like? Run DMC. DMC was always in the back with his orange cross nodding. And that's their backup in these vignettes.
That's why I stopped watching that shit. I can't watch daytime TV anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't the stomach for it. I miss the Geek to Chic and dangerous or funny videos episodes he had. Or anything else. Any public interest, anything else that he happened to have on the show that day. That was cool. And I'm sitting here like, that was roughly a decade, 15 years ago. Every goddamn time I turn on my local station to see this nigga, somebody got a wild, ratchet ass teenager, and or we got a chick on stage with like 8 niggas on stage with her, and she trying to test them all.
Yeah.
She don't know who the daddy is.
Maury is fucking 79 years old, still looking for niggas' baby daddies.
Bruh, listen.
Yeah, he really is. He did used to have like he still had like mad problematic content. Like he stayed with like
he was holding up
transphobic shit.
Yeah.
Like you didn't realize it when you were like 12, 13, 14, 15. You might not have realized that it was transphobic and everything, but the idea were like, yeah, like choose, who's actually, quote unquote.
That's a man, Maury. Oh.
Yeah. It got people choosing, lifting up signs and stuff and everything. But then he also had other the Geek to Chic, the makeover shows.
You didn't like me when I was ugly, but now I'm hot. The Mike Jones episodes, basically.
Right. Yeah. Like some of them were actually, like he had a lot more variety because he still had the paternity test shows. It's just that they weren't every day. Because now it's just like, it's every day.
You at least were surprised, like, oh, I see. We have another paternity episode? Okay, all right.
Right.
Now that shit is like boilerplate default now. I'm like...
It's like,
nigga,
and it felt like they were just pushing each other forward. Like Maury and Jerry Springer were just like neck and neck. And then Jenny Jones was back in that group too, back in the day, before she had a guy come on there and express his love to a dude who was virulently homophobic, and then the dude ended up murdering him. And I remember that. I remember that happening, and she was like, I didn't know that was gonna happen, and then it turned out that she had been getting the dude who was homophobic drunk backstage.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah, because they did a HBO Midnight Undercover or whatever it was called. Like they're in depth. They had HBO had like an in-depth show where they would like just go behind the scenes and dig deep into all the people's issues. And it wasn't just the talk show thing that they had that for. They had like 4 or 5 different things. Like they had one on a parent who was getting high on ecstasy, and he was raving with his kids. Like he would go out to raves with his kids and all that kind of stuff. And he had a pacifier who would ground his
sucker dad on E?
Yes. And then they had one about folks who were on meth. And then they had the one about all the talk shows. And they talked about how back in the 80s, the most salacious thing that happened was Geraldo saying that he had found Al Capone's tomb.
Right. Geraldo did.
Yeah, well, you know how that
would get in fights though. Geraldo had I think he had like a brawl on his show.
He got his nose broke a couple times.
But it was talk shows a long time ago did seem to be more subdued than they are now.
Oh no, because now there's a show called Paternity Court.
Yeah, I know about that. I remember. I saw that. I'm like, what? Oh, shucks.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Don't get me started on the judge shows. There are just so goddamn many.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, you
Nigga,
know.
there's so many. There's so many goddamn judge shows. When news broke that Judge Wapner died, I was like, this nigga was alive this whole time.
I really do remember the Maury show, like you were saying, where the lady had 11 people come on the show. And the reason why I remember that so vividly, and I talked about this on the show before, she lived in my neighborhood.
Wow.
So she had all those folks on, and none of them were the child's father. And she was like, I think like 19 or 20 when she went on Maury. And she came back home and her life was a living hell because folks were like, hey, I'm not that kid's baby daddy, but I could be number 13 on the next episode. And they literally harassed her into hiding, like going on that show. And she thought that she was going to go on there and find love. And they made it sound like they were going to take care of her. And no matter what, they were going to find who the father was. Even if they didn't find it in those 11, they were going to find out who the father was. And they were just like, nope. Your 11 quarters are up. Do you want to continue? And then when it counted down to 0, they were like, well, you can drag another 20 people on here next time. We'll DNA test all of them too. So, and then when that ran out of steam, I know that Maury, well, it didn't run out of steam. It's still his biggest thing, but also the lie detector tests.
Yeah.
Or the bait room test where they'd have somebody go into the green room and then he'd send like a really attractive man or woman into the room with them to try and flirt with them to see if they're faithful. And it's like, I don't know, like,
I hated those episodes too. They were raggedy. Like,
I would just be like, yo, like, first of all, if you're sitting in the green room of Maury Povich, you shouldn't trust nothing.
Right. That's what it's like. You got to know that this is a problem, that something is wrong if they're not telling you exactly what the show is about or whatever. It's just, this is a setup. Mm-hmm. You are probably about to be embarrassed or humiliated.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, wait, no, I'm here with my beloved. I love her. And then look all around because there's a camera somewhere. Somebody just sit next to you and be like, hey, you want a drink? Nah, nigga, I don't want no drink. Nah, I'm good. I don't drink. I'm a Jehovah's Witness. I love my wife. I love my significant other. I love my kids. Get out of here. But yeah, no, I don't even know how we got on this subject. And I'm happy about that. But those talk shows, like, oh, you were talking, no, you weren't. Like, I don't know. Like, being sick at home when you were a teenager meant you were going to watch The Price is Right, and then you were going to see, like, 5 hours of just ratchet stuff between Donahue, Jenny Jones, Jerry
Sally,
Springer,
Jesse, Raphael,
Sally Jesse, and Maury. And they were all fighting to be
Goddamn.
more salacious than the last one. And I left out Ricky Lake because I forgot.
Oh yeah! Woo! I love classic Ricky Lake. Mm-hmm.
We used to watch that in like my 8th grade science class when we would have a substitute. We would be, or was it 10th grade? It doesn't matter. But science class, we'd have a substitute and we would be able to watch Ricky Lake.
Oh, she was my fave. Oh,
She was a mess too. She had all kinds of problematic shit on Ricky Lake.
Yes, she did. And then she went on to do movies for a while, and she came back a new person after she did Hairspray. She came back and she was like, "I'm no longer gonna do the ratchet stuff. I'm not."
Really? After Hairspray? See, I thought she did Hairspray first.
yes.
And then did the show.
Yeah.
Something happened. I remember, like, she stepped away for a while.
That's definitely that order, yeah.
And then she came back and she was like, "I'm not ratchet no more. I've been delivered."
Now that I believe. Yeah, like that I believe.
Yeah,
I think she did
totally
change her.
happened.
Yeah, her format, definitely changed. And it was no longer people snatching wigs off and, I'm sleeping with your boyfriend type whatever.
I'm sleeping
I'm
with
your coworker
boyfriend and your daddy. That was the type of episode you get. I'm sleeping with your boyfriend and your daddy. And yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Why did she even? It doesn't even matter.
I'm still trying to figure out how we got here. Like,
I don't know.
I
don't know how we got here either. We're here now.
Exactly.
We can leave whenever we're ready.
Whenever we want to walk out, we can walk out. But I remember those shows where Maury and Jerry Springer would just do, like, in hindsight, just horrible stuff. Like, I'm not even talking about the paternity test things. I'm talking about, like, when they would invite the Klan onto their show. Which in hindsight still gave the Klan a nationwide audience.
I mean,
yeah. It gave the Klan a nationwide audience, even if they came out there and it's Thanksgiving. Oh, that was a type of title that Jerry Springer would have. It's Thanksgiving and Mom invited the Klan.
That's so fucked up. But it reminds me of people. It reminds me of people right now who think that they're good people by inviting, by entertaining the other opinions, the alternate opinions of, like, racists and stuff. Like, I feel like that's what it is. It's just like, well, let's get these people on here and let's listen to them. Let's see their point of view. But then we can tell them that they're bad. And it's just like, no, you should just reject those people. You don't have to tell them that they're bad on national television. You don't have to listen to them and then reject them. Just reject them. Just let them know that their point of view doesn't hold any weight and it shouldn't even be voiced. And immediately. They should just fuck out of here.
Yeah. Hey, you, that's racist, get the fuck out of here. We only do paternity tests here. And boot camps.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bruh. Oh.
Them badass kids and the boot camps. That's how we got Bad Barbie or whatever her name was.
Oh.
Yeah. Not she was on Dark to Phil, but still. But I remember when my man's Dwayne, I believe his name was, the vest, no shirt underneath, just coming through onto the stage, smoking shit like he WWF. I'm like, nigga, sir, just barking at these damn kids. Like, just look at him like.
Because he was out there with bald ass, punk ass Montel Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Who I would call him Montel Jordan. I couldn't help it. I only knew two Montels in my life, and it was those two. And Montel Jordan, Montel Williams.
Who else? Montel Williams is one L. That one is one L. Montel Jordan. This is how we do it. That he two L's.
I'm shocked that they never had him on the episodes. But they were all ratchet. They were all just horrible shows, and we just sat there and drank it up. And now I have no question in my mind why I thought certain things were so long, because it was on TV. It was right there. It was acceptable. It was mainstream. If it wasn't acceptable, it wouldn't have been on TV, right? So, like, Dad married a horse and Mom is upset. Food fight episode.
Yikes.
And I bought the DVDs for Too Hot for TV. I bought like 2 volumes of it.
Wow.
I did. I did. And I watched The Ringmaster. Like, I watched that movie. I did that.
Wow.
And I don't know where those DVDs are now. I probably threw them away. Probably left them in a college dorm room somewhere. Like when you're done with porn, you just leave it there for the next person. Need some ratchet, take some ratchet. And it was just volume 1 and volume 2.
Damn. You know what? I got oh my God.
What? Back in the day, Too Hot for TV, we used to have everybody in our dorm would come to one room to watch Too Hot for TV.
I'm actually referring to the porn.
Oh yeah,
because
happiness should be shared.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. When my uncle passed, between his birthday and November 1st, management found him, so there's no telling when he died exactly. But you know how you have relatives who cheap out on certain shit?
Yeah.
And it's halfway important shit at that.
Yeah.
At the very least, see, my mom, Maud rest her soul, she cheaped out on detergent. She used to buy that goddamn extra detergent. I can't wash my clothes. I can't wash her clothes with that shit. I will not cheap out on no motherfucking detergent. I refuse. She'll buy the shit out some Reynolds Wrap. Will not go cheap on the foil, on the aluminum foil. The detergent, for some strange reason, she will buy the fuck out some extra goddamn Purex and the fucking Biz, whatever the hell, all the cheap shit. I can't do it. I still buy I buy the freaking detergent packs. I will buy some mainstream stuff. I'll grab some Arm & Hammer, but I'll do the organic shit too, because I can't do that. Extra ain't shit but water, son. Perfumed arse water. And it drove me nuts. And I just felt like my clothes weren't clean. Like they were just, I don't need a shit ton of detergent in the water for my clothes to feel or be clean. I'm not that type of person, but at the same time, that stuff just didn't work. Now, my uncle, on the other hand, he cheaped out on 2 things. Cookware and motherfucking porn. Now, when he died, and my cousin, his wife, and I went over there to his apartment to get the personal effects, get whatever we wanted and needed, cleaned it out much as we could, and all that. Management would get the rest. Niggas, cheaped out on the porn. This shit is so struggle. I can't be bored and pop that shit in. It's just, I'm like, why did he? I'm so mad. I feel the only thing I regret is that I never had that intervention with him. I would have known how to make the intervention, but I would have figured something out along the way. I probably would have freestyled it. I don't fucking know. And then the cookware, I just threw out a skillet he had outright because I ain't feel like scrubbing it. It was just, you can't leave it heated up for long. I don't care what oil or spray you use. It's just cheap ass cookware. And I'm like, I use it just in case when I know I ain't got to scrub the hell out of it. I know I can cook certain things and I know I can't cook other things in it. So that's what I do with that. I just use the saucepans mostly, but that's the thing. He cheaped out on porn. He had a bootleg copy of what is called Pimpin' 101. I don't know if you're familiar with that. But Ice-T and Coco were involved in the shit. I'll leave it at that.
Wow.
It was, I couldn't go past 5 minutes of that shit. I'm like, oh no, I'm good, kid. I'm good.
I just want to point out that there's nothing wrong with cheap porn. As long as it follows a few rules. I'm not picky or anything like that, but there are a few standards that I like to be with before I will give myself to the rhythm of the lotion. The first thing is, don't look at the fucking camera. Don't look at the guy. Don't look at me. Do not. If it's two people in a room and y'all supposed to be acting like y'all like each other, don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera. Don't stare at the camera. Don't David Blaine the camera. Don't just act like the camera doesn't exist. Second rule of porn. Second rule of bad porn that I will cut it off in a millisecond as soon as I see it. Your moans better sound authentic, goddammit. You can't be like, as soon as insertion happens, you're like, oh my God. Take
right,
me.
unless it's 2 inches thick. Shit.
Exactly. You're not getting impaled. Nothing's happening. It just started. You shouldn't be falling out like you shouldn't fall out like a woman in church who just got the Holy Ghost. You shouldn't do that on the first pump. That should not happen ever. Third thing in my list of things in cheap porn that shouldn't happen. Fuck the music.
Bruh.
Fuck your fucking music. Like, I don't want to hear the music from Cheaters in the background while you're having sex. I shouldn't hear burn up, burn up, burn up, burn up, burn up, burn up, oh, burn up, burn up, burn up. You like that? Burn up, burn up, burn up, burn up, burn. Oh, burn.
It's terrible. This is exactly why I'm not interested in porn. This is just,
it's doing too much. It's too little at the same damn time.
Just ugh.
I watched a clip a while back of this cat slowly stroking this young lady, and next thing you know, R. Kelly's moving like a snake or whatever the fuck his call was playing. I had to mute it, and then I'm like, no, nigga, I gotta move on. I gotta go to another goddamn clip or whatever. Let me find anything else.
The fourth thing that I can't handle, because yes, there's levels to these bevels. The fourth thing that I can't handle in your fake ass porn is like cutscenes. Like, y'all are in the front room at 1 second, and she's like, I think you're cute, and you're like, I think you are too. And then all of a sudden it just fades to black, and you come back and you just in another area just smashing it like ferociously. Like, I need to build up too. I need to feel that inside of myself. I need to know how you got from, how did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. I wanted to see how the fingers got in the butt. Like, that's a big jump from one to another where it's just like everything. There should not be a star wipe in porn. Let's just do it like that. There should not be the fade, the wavy fade out like it's an 80s teen show. These things should not happen in porn. But more than anything else, that fucking music. That music should not be, and you could tell when people don't have access to the cheaters, burn up, because I've seen people with rock music in the background, and it played for the entire 45-minute clip. I have seen rap get played in the background. Yuckmouth, a rapper from the Loonies, put out a porn and had the unmitigated gall and temerity to have his music playing in the background. Also, I know that there's people who want to see this, but I'm not everybody. I don't want 10 to 15 to 20 minutes of butts jiggling before we actually get to the porn. I don't want to see twerking before we get to the porn. I don't want to see twerking where you're pouring oil on the booty. I don't want to see none of that. Just get me
looking
in
like
and
oil
get me
turkeys
out.
and shit.
Right? Get me in and get me out. I got a schedule. I'm on lunch. Okay? I got 5 minutes alone in the bathroom and I need to get to sleep. I don't need 45 minutes of twerking to burn up. Because they're all beat anyway. And I don't need to see them slithering around the ground or nothing like that. And you know who's always doing that? White girls. White girls are the ones oh, she got a booty. They should make her twerk for a second. No, that's just sad. That's just, get off my screen. But other than that, cheap porns, what else? Oh, ashy kneecaps.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Ashy kneecaps and ashy elbows will make me mad.
Bro, that happens.
There's nothing that'll take me out of the dream quicker than seeing that you got rug burn and you're on a bed and you're standing up. Like, why do your knees look like that? Your knees shouldn't look like that. Bad angles. I don't want to see up the guy's asshole. In the midst of I shouldn't okay, porn, there's levels to this bevel, I understand, but I should not be able to see all the way up the guy's asshole. I'm not saying that I have a problem with the missionary position or anything like that. I'm just saying change the fucking angle. Like, I can see out his mouth. I can see the headboard that he is staring at through his asshole. Like, I can see that whole thing. And I shouldn't be able to see just asshole and balls for like a good 10 to 15 minutes while this dude's pounding. Like, find another angle. Come around to the side. Get a picture of his face. I want to see if he's cute. He might be attractive. Obviously, he's got an ashy ass. I just want to see the rest of him. I'm intrigued now.
This is exactly why I don't watch the shit. Because I can't imagine the whole, like, trying to find something to watch and the risk of it being so high that it's going to be some kind of fuck shit. That somebody's going to be ashy, somebody's going to be, bad transitions, bad angles.
Bad dialogue.
Just bad. And then there's also, I know one of the things that completely took me out of porn, and this was like 10 years ago, probably more, but it was, the woman did not look into it.
Yes.
Like, at all. She didn't look into it at all. And it was one of those things where it was just like, I don't ever want to find another video like this again. And so I just stopped watching the shit. Just was like, I'm done. Because I wasn't seriously into it anyway. So it was one of those things where I was just trying it out. And I came across that video and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, that would be a horrible experience for like your first couple times of like trying to find porn and see if you like porn or if you could get into porn. And the first one you see is just somebody just dead eye, just looking everywhere but at the person, not really just, and then just looking at the camera, remember the camera's there and they still don't give a fuck. That would be horrible. Yeah. I've seen.
And what I really hate is, what I really hate is spitting on genitals. It's not, saliva is not lube, bro. I hate that shit. I want to light some shit on fire every time. I can't switch to another clip or anything else fast enough. Soon as I'm like, okay, we're getting head. Okay, all right, great. And it's, motherfucker. Jesus in the middle. Why was this done? This is not necessary. Bitch! Oh, I gotta switch. Damn it.
And now I gotta stop what I'm doing to switch. And it's like, I don't even want to do this anymore. But now I'm all greasy up anyway. I may as well just finish. Like,
I'll be glad when I get some dick for real. This is some bullshit, Aldo.
I just need it so I can go to sleep. I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and the only thing that's going to get me to sleep, because Nisha's already knocked out, is the porn. I shouldn't have to sit there from 2 o'clock to 2:45 to find something good. I shouldn't have to do that. And you shouldn't have Big Booty Queen takes it in all holes, and then it's really a small booty queen who is looking at the camera like, why am I here? That doesn't work for me.
Standard issue booty, just
there.
Blank, hottie stare, just.
Like, I love the confidence people have in themselves. I just want to say that right now. Keep that same energy, keep that same confidence in yourself. But just because you made the movie on your own with your own video, you shouldn't say amateur sex queen takes it everywhere, and really just means she carries the camera from room to room. That literally happened. It was just them walking into different rooms.
Holy cow.
But I just wanted to get that out the way. I don't know how we got on that topic either. There was a Bronx charter school teacher who recruited a student to help him score $4,000 worth of marijuana. And then when the kid did the right thing and just took the money and put it in his pocket and left, the teacher beat the teen senseless. Kevin Pope, who's 48, also stole the teen's iPhone and wallet and threatened to... This is why I should vet some of these stories first. Kevin Pope also stole the teen's iPhone and wallet and threatened to sexually assault his mother if he didn't get his money back, the sources said. Quote, "I will kill you if I don't get my money," Pope allegedly told the student after pummeling him. "I want my money in a month," end quote. Pope, a science teacher at the John V. Lindsay Wildcat Academy, that's quite a name, in Hunts Point, was arrested at the school on Friday morning and charged with assault and robbery in the attack a day earlier. Pope had asked students around the school back in June if they knew a drug dealer, and they put him in touch with the teen, who promised he could score a large stash of drugs from his contact in Manhattan, the sources said. Pope gave the kid $4,000 for the hefty purchase, the sources said. The unidentified teen told cops that he met the dealer near Central Park, but was told that the quantity of drugs he was seeking would cost $7,000, sources said. The student then blew off the transaction and spent the money, according to the sources. 3 months later, shortly after the start of the new year, Pope found the teen about 2 blocks away from the Lafayette Avenue building and demanded the money be returned. When the student said it was gone, Pope allegedly socked him in the face multiple times, took his iPhone 6, gold chain, and wallet that contained the boy's school ID and 2 Metro cards. The student needed 3 surgical staples to close gashes in the back of his head, sources said. Sources said the incident is on surveillance video. The student attends Pope's school, but it's unclear if the teen was in that teacher's class. You ain't no gangster. You don't just walk up to random kids and be like, "Hey, where the weed at?"
What the fuck was that? What?
You don't just walk up to kids like that. Like, first of all, how are you just gonna assume the kids know? I'm gonna say this real quick. If somebody walked up to me and was like, "Hey, you know where the weed is?" I'd be like, "Yep. Give me the money. I'll go get some for you." Just because you're insulting me by asking me if I know where the weed is or know where the drugs are at. That's insulting as hell. Secondly, the fact that the kid actually knew where to get the weed at, but then found out that it was less than that it was more than what he had. Fuck it. What you gonna do? You gonna tell the cops you gave me money to buy you weed? No. I'm a teenager. I'm gonna spend your shit. Boot gang. And you come back and you assault me and all that kind of stuff. Whoop-de-whoop. Or as Shantae says, whoop-de-bam. Now all of a sudden, you in jail. I still got all my stuff. I'm a heel. You still in jail. You ain't never gonna work around here no more.
Damn shame what they did to that dog.
But doggone it. Leave my mama out of it. Like,
oh, Walter A. Crew ass nigga. What?
He wanted to be Walter White. You know that. You know that. You knew he had them dreams of being something bigger than what he was. Oh, punk ass.
Shit, you could have just sent me that. You could have just sent me that shit. Just damn. Oh, niggas are never around with the largesse of money and weed to spare. It's just craziness. I don't know.
Exactly. Any thoughts, Shantae?
Not really. You know, niggas ain't shit.
Right. But neither are white women. So, a St. Louis mom is making a federal case over the fact that her son didn't make the high school soccer team. The unnamed woman, whose son is a junior at Ladue,
53% of shit.
Whose son is a junior at Ladue Horton Watkins High School, located in the most affluent section of the city, filed a lawsuit in federal court this week, claiming that the coach's decision discriminates against her child. The boy, who's called John Doe in the Wednesday filing, played on the junior varsity team last year, and the suit claims that he's good enough to do so again. Quote, John was right on the bubble of making the team this year and has some impressive attributes, soccer coach Dave Ehrenberg told the family in an email court papers show. However, there were a few holes in his game, including technical ability and game decision-making, that put him behind a number of kids. The school said the players who don't make varsity cannot go back to JV in order to allow younger students a chance to develop their skills. In courtroom testimony, the coach said 7 juniors cut from varsity weren't good enough to play JV ball. But the family claims both age and sex discrimination were at play because those rules don't apply to girls' teams. Quote, female juniors get to play on the female junior varsity team, but male juniors don't get to play on the male junior varsity team, said the family's lawyer, who asked not to be named. The junior varsity team only has 18 active players rather than the usual 25, the lawyer noted. So even if John Doe doesn't get to start, he should be allowed on the team because there's plenty of room, the lawyer told the Post. Quote, this was devastating to this kid. All he cares about is soccer. The family appealed to the school's athletic director and then to the superintendent, but both backed Ehrenberg, who could not immediately be reached for comment. John Doe's lawyer offered player performance ratings from other coaches that showed that his client is better than some of the boys who made varsity, ranking 19th of the 36 players who tried out. The suit aims to have the boy put back on the JV team. The judge will announce his decision on Monday.
Wow. This is so childish.
Right?
Like, this is, well, like, on the one hand, there's a part of me that understands, like, if a team could have more players, then why isn't this kid on the team? You know, kind of like why, like, if you're supposed to have 25 kids, or every year they've had 25 kids, and now they're down to 18. It's kind of like, well, what the fuck? Like, I understand the frustration of the kid. Like, you're expecting something. You're thinking, okay, it's going to be okay. At the same time, though, it's just like, really? Just to sue? And then to say, like, oh, well, the girls, you know, it's like this with the girls. I bet that the reason why it's like it is with the boys probably has something to do with them thinking that boys can be cut or something, you know, and they're being nicer or whatever, less harsh with the girls or something. So it's this kind of, like, this mom is talking about discrimination against her child based on him being a boy and everything, and they're not treating the boys the same way they're treating the girls, but they're also they possibly may not be treating the girls the same way they're treating the boys. It's just like, it's all fucked up, and they're just trying to find a loophole. I don't know. This shit is goofy.
I'm just a fan of how the loophole always involves the girls.
Right.
Like, that's the best way to get guys behind it, to say, if girls can do this, then guys... I cringe when it was like the female junior varsity can do this, but the males can't. Well, look, if your kid was better than 17 players on the varsity team, then he shouldn't go down to the junior varsity. See, you played yourself by putting out that statement from your lawyer. It just irritates me that parents really think this is going to work. And it scares me because I'm about to start back up with coaching, school teams. And last year, around this same time, kids tried out for the team and didn't make the team and went slam over to the athletic director talking about, I need to get fired. Parents are weird when it comes to their kids making teams. They just swear that the kids are way better than even the kids think they are. And I mean, it's cool that you have that trust and that faith in your kid. That's wonderful, but be real. Be real. Your kid trips over their feet when they walk. Be real. You might make the management team. Your kid might be stats, but be real. Your kid shouldn't make this squad. And trying to force the coach to do it by going to the athletic director ain't going to help nothing, because the athletic director's like, I ain't got nothing for you right now. And then what? So, yeah. That Brett Kavanaugh, Once again, white women.
Oh boy.
What?
Oh boy.
Once again, white women have led the way. After saying that, after white women marched and asked black women to carry the emotional labor with them to march to stand up behind Ford? Blassie? Ford. Finalized.
Dr. Ford.
Dr. Ford, yes. A white woman who was called upon by George Bush. Wow, just all of the allies, quote unquote, called by George Bush and pushed to vote for Brett, decided to say that she was going to go ahead and vote for him, which means that he's now going to be to the next step where they're going to vote to have him actually get on the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
So, a rapist endorsed a rapist. And now that rapist is going to be the reason why the first rapist, the president, doesn't really get in trouble from whatever Mueller finds from his investigation. And the band plays on. I'm just tired. I'm really tired. And, the white women on my feed were quiet as hell these past couple of weeks. Initially they were like, oh, no, we got to march because this happened to people I know. Sexual assault happened to people I know, and hashtag me too, and solidarity and all that kind of stuff. And then silence. Black women continue to fight against the vote, as black women always do. They led the way, and white women were like, oh, we're just going to give in. We're tired of holding the line. If a white woman voted for him, it must have been for a good reason. Let's just let bygones be bygones and just move on to the next play. Thoughts, Shante?
Nah, just, motherfuckers ain't shit. That's really what so much of this comes down to with me is motherfuckers ain't shit. There was a poll that came out that like 90% of black people believed Dr. Ford, and it was like a 40-40 split or something between white women and white men believing Dr. Ford. So it's like you got 90% of black people and 40% or so of white people believing her. And it's just like, it reminded me of how the election, the 2016 election shook out, with the whole idea of the 53%, here's a situation that probably affects you, and you're still kind of just like, nope, not her. Whatever your idea is, just whatever reason you don't believe her. It's just like, nope. But that's because white women are just as willing to oppress as white men are. And I think that's a problem with us as a society, that we've been so conditioned to to believe that they are meek, that they are docile, that anytime they make a decision, it's not a conscious decision. They were coerced into that decision. They were bullied into that decision. They had to make that decision, just like anything. We believe that they're not making a conscious effort. We don't believe that they are as misogynist as a man is, or as racist as a man, as a white man is. It's just like, no, the white woman, no, she's special. And it's just like, no, she's in that boat with that white man because she wants to be there. She wants to be there.
Quiet as kept, she's sometimes the final boss of the level.
Sure. It's just she's as complicit and as active in oppression as white men are. Mm-hmm. That's really what it comes down to. And is she oppressed? Yes. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it is too. I think people can't accept the fact that both things are true. That someone who is oppressed can be an oppressor at the same time. And might oppress as a way to alleviate their oppression.
I just wanted to give that a moment for everybody to type it out on a tweet and hashtag SSCast and put quotes around that and make sure that you attribute that to Shantae Fabulous. Because if that one doesn't spread around, then I don't know what to tell y'all.
Okay, so check this though. I have another white woman story, but isn't as serious as this one. Can I share?
Lord, yes.
Okay. So this is out of Atlanta. It says police in suburban Atlanta say a woman filled her son's sippy cup with an alcoholic beverage, sneaked it into a movie theater, and became so drunk she couldn't walk, talk, or take care of the 5-year-old. News outlets quote a Cobb County police arrest warrant saying Christina Gibson is wanted on charges including public intoxication. Police say Gibson also possibly combined the drink with prescription drugs.
Wait, what?
Yes. It says Sergeant Wayne Delk says a theater employee called police after moviegoers complained because Gibson's son was crying. Police say theater staff stopped Gibson from getting into her car with her child. Police called her friend to pick up the boy, and the woman was taken to the hospital. She was that drunk.
So she made lean.
Right.
Really?
Okay, well, check this though. When an officer tried to zip Gibson's purse, she said, "I will expletive kill you," according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Once at the hospital, police sought a warrant for Gibson's arrest because she wasn't a threat at that point any longer, Delk said. Gibson hadn't surrendered to police as of Wednesday morning. Neighbor Brandy Rhymes told WSB that she was shocked to hear what Gibson had allegedly done. That's horrible. And like I said, very shocking for this neighborhood because it's very family oriented, Rhymes said.
Not anymore.
Right.
Well, there goes the neighborhood.
Like in a sippy cup. Like, yo, like I don't understand why you had to sneak it like that. Like, you couldn't just sneak it, like, in a water bottle? Because, like, who's gonna, like, you should have just got vodka, and nobody's gonna know what you're doing. Like, you didn't have to sneak it in the baby's cup.
And then the baby looking at the cup like, wait, I see the cup, but you ain't gonna let me have none of my own cup?
Right, like, that's my Paw Patrol. That's mine. That's my cup with Zoom on.
Like...
So I'm out. So I'm in the back of the movies, and you think I'm a punk. But the sippy cup is full up and lean, and I'm hella drunk. Left the kid.
Like, I can't believe she, like, left the house. Like, I don't understand why she didn't just stay home.
Nigga,
and let the baby watch Netflix. Let the baby watch Nick Jr.
Woman.
It's Venom. It's Venom. You gotta go out and see Venom.
Like, she had to. This was it. This was her moment.
Bitch couldn't go to brunch like a decent white woman. What the hell, man?
And they got all her happy pictures up with her kids and stuff.
Does she look like? Does she have like the I like to date black men bob over her eye?
No, she actually no. This is actually just a long haired white woman. And looks like they're showing her Facebook pictures or whatever. That's what they look like. Pictures with the kids, but the kids are blurred out, and she looks happy.
So it's not mean.
But obviously she needs to go to a movie theater and put alcohol in a sippy cup. I don't know.
It's the only way to focus.
I don't know. I don't understand. I just don't understand publicly drinking like that. I think there's a part of me that gets if this woman is so stressed out and she is losing it and she has to do something. I just don't understand why she left the house. Because, you could have stayed at the crib and, got faded if that's what you really needed to do.
Friends don't let friends get faded at the movie theater. That's it. I mean, movie theaters nowadays, they putting out the alcohol and all that. They trying to make it look good for you. You walk right past that with a sippy cup.
I mean, bitch.
If all it took was one sippy cup to get you faded, I want to know what you had in that drink. No, I think she was drinking on the way out to the movie theater. I think she pre-gamed.
She must have had goddamn Kool-Aid and Everclear or something, because...
That poor kid.
Mm.
That poor kid. You sit in a movie theater, your mom is just getting more and more belligerent.
Shit-faced.
That's gotta be horrifying. Maybe. We'll be right back. This single simulcast.
You're listening to Single Simulcast with Rashani and my mom, Shante Fabulous.
This is the Black David Hasselhoff on the Midnight Storm, and you are now tuned in to Single Simulcast.
Hi, I'm Fallon of FallonKitty.com, a critic and creator, and you're listening to Single Simulcast.
This is Jarman, a.k.a. Shantae's brother. You're listening to Single Simulcast. Favorite podcaster's favorite podcast. I like listening to it. Hopefully you like listening to it. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, this is Rachel, not Rach, also known as @GetOffMyPlanet on Twitter, and you're listening to Single Simulcast, your favorite podcaster's favorite podcast, and also mine. You should check me out on my podcast with my husband at wormhole_planet is our Twitter, planetwormhole.com. Thanks for listening, and we love you guys.
This is Rainebeaux, and you're listening to Single Simulcast with Rashani and Shante Fabulous. Remember, put a coaster under that.
That was simply sensational. Single Simulcast shall surely surface speedily. Bitches.
Hey everybody, this is Gerald Jones from Buy Black Podcast, the voice of black business, where we interview black business owners to help you get to know them, to help them teach you a little something, and for all of us to do a little bit more to support black business owners and the black economy. You guys are listening to Single Simulcast with Shante and Rashani, and I appreciate every minute I get to spend with these folks. I know y'all do too. Keep listening.
When it comes to mental health, that's probably one of the things that works like that is we don't have the option of being broken and needing help. We just have to figure it out, and we just have to shut it down and suck it up and do the work and just, I don't know, we hurt ourselves and we hurt each other so much because we don't accept that people can need something more than just an attitude adjustment.
I don't want to place blame, so I won't. I know that it has been such a battle within myself to, first of all, talk about any issues that I'm having, whether it's depression or helplessness or really just feeling like the world is falling in on me. For a long time, those conversations wouldn't happen anywhere but within myself. And when you have those conversations within yourself, you start to manifest, at least I started to manifest, a second party, a second opinion within myself who would vet my circumstances. And that second party would always vet my circumstances and come to the same conclusion, which is,
It's your fault.
It's my fault. Unburdened.
Hi, this is your man Jeremy from the Crown and Collars podcast, and you are listening to Single Simulcast with my man Rashani and Shantae Fabulous, your favorite podcaster's favorite podcaster. And I'm your favorite podcaster. So that should be your favorite podcaster, because I'm your fave, and your fave's fave. Check them out on Single Simulcast. And check out Crown and Collars, found wherever you can find great podcasts and the CSPN network.
Hello, this is Stephanie from the Mocha Minutes podcast. If you can hear my voice, that means you're tuning in to two of my faves, Rayshani and Shantae Fabulous of the Single Simulcast. Congrats! You made a really good choice today. You want to make another good choice? Check me out on the Mocha Minutes podcast. You won't be disappointed. If you're tuning in to the Single Simulcast, you're going to love the Mocha Minutes podcast too. You can find the Mocha Minutes podcast wherever you find your podcasts. Would love to have you tune in. Okay. Bye.
Hi, this is Deshaun, aka Big Boy 1077 from Spit That Ish Podcast. It's a sports podcast on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and that's about it. We've been doing it for 5 weeks now. It's pretty awesome. I have a co-host named Justin. We talk about everything current in sports. And thanks to Rashani, and this is a Single Simulcast.
Like makeup? Interested in mental health? Check out lithiumtolashes.com, where I talk about my own everyday struggles with mental health and beat my face from time to time. This is Single Simulcast.
Shit, I'm tired. It'll always be this way. It is. When you yawn, that's how Anita Baker did that. You just yawn your way through shit.
Fucking told you, son. I love Anita Baker, but you were correct, sir.
From beginning to end, 365 days of the year, I want this.
You know what? I'm rock for this one.
All I wanna do is take a nap with you.
That's
And thank.
Caught up in
See? Sounds just like.
I never noticed it till just now.
I mean, at least she sounded like she was really going to sleep, other than putting you to fucking sleep like Nora Jones. Son, if you can't sleep,
Two albums. That Nora Jones first album put you right the fuck out.
That's my cousin.
It's so like boring though.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
I'm gonna tell you the best album to go to sleep on is Boyz II Men Evolution, dog. And yo, for real, if I can't sleep, if I have like straight insomnia and there is no way I think I'm going to sleep right now, put on that album, I am gone. I don't know what it is about that album. I am out of here, dog.
You'll always be this way. So fun. So sweet.
Oh shit!
Oh,
but
man.
I can't talk too much shit about Anita Baker. My mom, when she was alive, she loved Anita Baker and Patti LaBelle, son.
Anita's the shit.
Yeah, like I'm sure dissing her, but I still will listen to that song.
Oh yeah, I'll listen to it all the day long. But it also helps that she's the only woman from that era who's still relatively attractive.
True.
Come on, son. Patti LaBelle, dog. She got ass, son.
That's because she eating all that mama's fried chicken. All she eat is soul food. She gonna be a diabetes victim.
I need to find that shit. Did anybody? Am I the only person on earth that remembers that award show where Patti LaBelle was singing and they gave her the Lifetime Achievement Award or some shit like that? And she was singing a song, and she just took the mic away and sung out loud to the fucking crowd. And it was
I don't remember that at all.
It was the most amazing shit I've ever seen in my life, and I have never seen that shit again.
Nope.
She was probably yawning one day in the studio, so I was like, hold on. Yeah, just like that. Just keep doing that. That's perfect.
Oh, that was great. How'd you hit that note? I'm not sure. No, that wasn't it. Maybe if I hold my nose. No, that's not it either. Will you tell him to stop yawning when he yawns? That's it.
Eureka!
I just found it.
Eureka! That's it.
The dream team is here.
Single Simulcast, episode 320. Shantae's here. Rainebeaux's here. I'm Rashani. So, like, apparently AI sex bots are a real thing now. And in Texas, Houston, Texas, to be precise, the city of Lean, Greg Travis, the councilman of District G, where a so-called robot brothel would be located in, said on Tuesday the patrons visiting the adult business would be recorded by cameras directed at the location. Quote, I already have cameras around the area, and whenever this starts, we will all see people coming and going, and we will post it on social media. Why? Why would you say that before the business even starts? Why would you put that? Why? You know what? Travis said this at a city council meeting where community members, mostly from religious groups, expressed opposition to the business. Travis expressed his concern after David Gamboa, a director of the local religious organization Elijah Rising, sounds like a sex joint too, testified against the sex dolls business. He argued that this type of business will ultimately harm and dehumanize sex in humans. You know what else dehumanizes sex? When you let the Catholic Church continue to assault children. And there's people in churches who are in teen groups who are child pastors or teen group pastors who are taking their role and using it to assault children. But you know, let's just stick to the dolls. Let's just stay in that lane right there real quick. Gamboa asked council members to block kinky dolls opening in the city because it would exacerbate the risk of sexual assaults for women, as men accustomed to using the human-like sex objects could transfer the behavior to real people. Okay. 4 other community members, I mean, I guess, like, men accustomed to using the human-like sex objects could transfer to, I would think that people would take the behavior that they got from people and take those to the robots. And also, the whole idea of cleanup just icks me out. Like,
Yeah.
Unclean. Yes. Ugh. Like, I just feel like the STDs, like, you would have to use a condom if you're having sex with a robot, because there's no way that you, and wouldn't that rust them? I mean, these are just thoughts, just on my mind. Wouldn't the stickiness start to gum up the joints? I'm just saying, just thinking out loud like Ed Sheeran. But more than anything else, I think that if you are so worried about these men using these sex dolls and transferring the behavior back to humans, then you're not really thinking about the situation as a whole. I don't know how much of a risk that is, to be honest, because I haven't done the research on it, but I guarantee that he has neither. He's just saying this to the religious groups to get some votes.
Yeah.
4 other community members spoke about the sex dolls business. Amongst them, Aluin Abdullah from the religious nonprofit Love People, Not Pixels, which focused on the negative impacts of pornography, according to his website. Abdullah voiced concern about sex trafficking in the city and criticized men who purchase dolls or women. First of all, look, just a thought. This me, Rashani, and it's just a side thought. I'm thinking that if men or women purchase a sex doll, that is their sex trafficking. They're not going out anymore because they have a doll at home. I don't know. Like I said, this isn't my world. But I don't think that you should put sex trafficking and dolls in the same realm. I don't think you should put sex trafficking in the light that they keep putting it in, like it's a horrible thing. I think that they should actually see what happens when these dolls are out there. People are actually willing to have sex with a hole in the wall. That's literally what a sex doll is. Just make sure that they're doing it safely. Like, organize a way for them to be safe while they're doing this.
Right. But you're saying that the sex dolls aren't bad. Right?
Yeah, I'm like...
Right. The sex dolls aren't bad. Sex trafficking is bad. Because it almost sounded like you were saying that sex trafficking wasn't bad.
No. My fault. When I say... Yeah. I'm so sorry. Sex workers aren't bad. Sex trafficking is bad. I feel like they're putting sex trafficking and these robots into the same frame. And the robots aren't... Like, I think that the robots will be counter to sex trafficking. I think that once you have the robot, you don't need to go out and even... I don't think that they're in the same realm. I think that they're trying to pull two things that are parallel to one another and try and make them cross one another, and it shouldn't cross.
Right. What I think is, I think they're separate things. I think the person that is interested in, the person who is going to pay for sex from someone that is being trafficked, I guess, if that's the right term, and versus paying for it from a sex doll. I think they're separate types of, for lack of a better term, patrons. And I don't mean nice on as far as the person who's participating as far as with a person that is being sex trafficked. It's just, I think they're separate types of people. So the idea that the doll is going to lead to this other thing doesn't make sense to me. I do think there's the possibility. I think the if you want to make the leap that sex with the doll could color the way someone interacts with a human person later, I think that's possible. I think when people interact with porn, I think that colors the way they interact with human, with other people, as far as their sex lives and stuff are concerned, like, I guess, but that's still not something to be like, to feel like you have to stop in such a large kind of way, I guess, and just say, no, you can't, like, police adults' choices, I guess.
But they won't stop trying because they're the church. And that's an issue within itself. Nobody in this council, nobody in this meeting this hearing spoke in favor of the adult business. Like, they all knew what they were there for. They're there for the witch hunt of it all. They're not there to try and figure out a way for this to actually lower sex trafficking in their area. They're not looking for a way to save people. They're looking for a way to block all of this out. Like, they have it all grouped into the same little cup. To them, it's all just pornography. And so, I don't know. They're saying that they're also prohibiting entertainment with one or more persons using an arcade device on the premises.
Right, that's them. Yeah, that's them trying to. What it sounded like is that they're trying to stop like a threesome with the doll. Like the doll is the arcade. Like the doll is going to be designated as an arcade device.
Nigga, this ain't NBA Jam.
Which is kind of odd. It's kind of odd to say that this is an arcade device, but unless it's like really a robot, you know what I mean? Versus like just one of those $15,000 or $16,000 dolls that would be on like Real Sex or whatever that don't do anything. You know, they just lay there. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like a real doll like that. I think that's what they're called. You know, like unless this doll is like, you know, moving some type of way, even if it's just her eyes or her mouth or something automatically. I don't understand why it's being considered as an arcade device.
I'm so confused at all of this. Like, did they read or hear anything that was proposed or explained? Did they hear any damn thing? They couldn't even pretend to have done some rudimentary research. I can't. Even or odd. But, oh boy. It's like they're humanizing the dolls and dehumanizing the potential clientele, not to mention everyone else. Oh, I don't get it. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. People, I don't understand why in a situation like this where it's not even about I don't understand why someone is being prohibited from participating in this type of thing. I don't understand. I guess if you don't want it in your town or something, like you don't want that business near you, I guess. Cause that is cause it is a different kind of thing where, I don't know. I guess I imagine like, it's actually very childish, but what I'm thinking of is the Rick and Morty episode when Morty got a hold of the sex doll, the sex robot doll.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like super sweaty and just like, oh my God, like drinking orange juice to like replenish and like, okay, gotta go. And that kind, that kind of thing. Like this kind of just the possibility that it's like, that maybe you're thinking like it's going to be like creepy dudes out there looking disheveled or whatever, going in and out of this, business, making your business look like a creepy place.
I think that they got it in their mind that it's going to look like that casino that Biff Tannen had in Back to the Future Part 2. Where everybody just looks hella seedy and cigarette smoke is all over the place and there's no sunlight even at 8 o'clock in the morning and homeless people are sleeping outside of it and cats and dogs are sleeping together and the world is falling apart. And it's not like, come on, y'all. Look, if you need a indicator of what a good establishment like this could look like, honestly, just look to Vegas. They have a ton of them. Some of them work, some of them don't. Shit, they had one that was on HBO, The Cat House. Some of them work, some of them don't. That nigga ran for governor, like, of Vegas. Like, some of them work, some of them don't. This one may work, it may not. But y'all are literally up in arms about something that hasn't even happened yet.
Correction. Prostitution is actually illegal in Las Vegas proper. That would be like on the outskirts.
Yeah.
I want to say Carson or thereabouts, but Carson City or thereabouts, but I could be wrong. And no, in the city proper, nah. I tried to live there once, and that's not the case.
Yeah. Proper. Go Hammer! A married woman in Colombia and her lover were caught off guard when they called an Uber to head to a motel, and the driver turned out to be the woman's husband. Identified.
I heard this story. Please continue.
Identified only as Yemi, the woman, and her lover Jesus Barrios, had kept their affair secret for more than a year. The Colombian newspaper El Espectador reported on Thursday. But this week they were caught when they called in Uber, and Yemi's husband was unexpectedly in the driver's seat. On Tuesday, Yemi and Jesus met in the city of Santa Marta and decided to head to a motel for more privacy. Unfortunately for the couple, Yemi was unaware that her husband had borrowed a friend's vehicle and was driving using that friend's Uber account to moonlight as a driver. They were notified by the Uber app that their driver was Leonardo, and so saw no need for concern. According to local media reports, it wasn't until they were inside the vehicle that Yemi and her husband recognized each other. What happened next has been reported differently by various outlets. Some have said the three exited the vehicle and the men began to fight on the street as Yemi tried to intervene. Others reported that the wife and her lover simply fled the vehicle to escape her husband's anger. Yemi had been thwarted in part because Leonardo had failed to follow Uber's official policy for drivers. The company's regulations clearly state that drivers are not allowed to let others drive for them. In fact, doing so is grounds for losing access to the app. So, two things. One, hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. If your husband's driving the Uber, I'm not getting in. Dip, dive, what can I say? I can't get in while he's playing the OJs. The second thing is this. This dude should have just kept it quiet. Quiet as kept. If he was a good friend. He cost his homeboy his job. Leonardo just lost his job because this man couldn't control his anger. He should have just kept it in until he got home and been like, hey, that Uber that you was in, I was there too. I saw you.
Yeah. And him.
Driving in the rain. I was rolling in a Uber while you was giving brain. Giving brain in the backseat.
Yeah. I don't understand how, well, obviously she did not know this friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would think that if this dude is close enough to drive on somebody else's Uber account, that she might know who this other, know who this dude is. So it's like, why would you see the picture and it's just like, obviously she didn't know that was her husband's homeboy. Cause it's like, why would you even like keep that ride? Cause I would think you would get found out that way. Unless he keeps his friendships like super duper separate. Obviously there are probably some people who haven't met somebody's spouse and so they wouldn't know them, walking down the street or whatever. But it's just, I just figured like she would have got caught anyway. And why would she even get in the car if she knows who that dude is?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's probably a lot of Leonardos in the area, but I'm just saying, for safety purposes, you see a Leonardo on the thing, and you see the car for Leonardo, and your friend Leonardo got this kind of car, kind of maybe, but I guess Maybe the dick was just too good.
Maybe so. And then
go ahead. Hashtag dick to bomb.
Hashtag dick to bomb. But yeah, maybe I don't know. I wonder why she didn't know that he was moonlighting as an Uber driver. That too. You know. Like, not that would have kept her from, you know, whatever. But I don't know, maybe she did know and that's why she bounced. She was like, oh, he's driving Uber.
She wanted to give it to you. No, that doesn't work for me.
She wanted some new dick.
Right? Well, it couldn't be new. It's been a year.
Right. I mean, but it's still new to her. You know, a year in, that's new dick.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, how far out do you got to go? Further than you were. That's the answer right there. Further. Like, go further than where you were in that situation to have an affair. Because Uber goes everywhere. Niggas out here will drive their car from my city out to, like, Fresno, which is, like, 300 miles away for an Uber. So, you gonna get caught up. Period. You gonna get stuck.
I wonder if they fought like Nathan and that dude in Insecure, you know, on that like first episode when they was fighting in the backseat.
I don't want to spoil anything, but the last few minutes of the last episode of Insecure were heartbreaking for me.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about that because like I thought it ended compared to previous finales. I thought it ended on an upbeat note.
Well, so I mean, yeah, the ending was her putting her house together. Like that, literally, I'm getting my house together. The part before that.
Okay. Yes, I understand. Okay.
Yeah, the part before that was heartbreaking for me. Her getting her house together, groovy. Yeah, sit back, drink your wine, enjoy the fact that you are literally and also metaphorically getting your house in order. Like, I don't know if anybody else caught that, but y'all did because y'all are grown. Getting your house in order, that's dope. But I understood where Nathan was coming from.
Yeah. I think we should talk about it. Like, I really like, nigga, y'all saw it. And if you didn't see it, and if you didn't see it, you know, you can turn it off right now. We just tried not to spoil it, but now we're about to spoil it. So whatever.
Yeah. And in all honesty, at this juncture in time, we just want to give shouts out to everybody who checked out the show, shit like that. Shit's about to get spoiled. So I guess Nathan was gone for a fucking month.
Yes.
And when, like, she had gone to, huge lengths to try and find out where this dude was, cause she liked him. She liked him a lot.
Right. Right. And he seemed like he liked her.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing too. Like, she liked him, but he also seemed like he liked her.
Mm-hmm. And, he wasn't returning calls, wasn't returning text messages, but had a few updates happening on Instagram, if I remember correctly, and didn't respond to her fake account, the burner account they had, to try and figure out if niggas would, to creep on niggas. I thought that was cute how they shared that account between the three of them. But so, like, she even had Molly go to, Terrence? Was his name Terrence? The Asian dude's house.
Oh, I thought his name was Andrew.
I thought it started with a T. And I trust you. Cause when I watch it, I'm like in and out. I'm like, you know, names are like, okay, you're a side character. I don't need to remember your name, but, like, go over to his house, install, so then she could go through, Andrew's stuff and look, or Nathan's stuff and look for everything, or look for clues. And then right when she had, like, let go almost, and was resigned to the fact that this nigga was just like off the list. He showed up at her house on her birthday with flowers, and Molly sent him away without even like this is when honestly this was when Issa was still feeling very strongly about him. Like if she had saw him at that point in time, it might have been a different story.
Right.
But Molly sent him on his way, which I thought, honestly, she might have been thinking, okay, I'm doing this for my girl. I thought it was fucked up. I'm like, if you know that your girl's been pining over this dude and worried about this dude and all that, and he shows up, at least give her the opportunity to send him on his way. You don't get to be the gatekeeper of their interactions. Like, you shouldn't have that kind of power in their relationship. Sure. So Molly sent Nathan away, and then after they went out and saw The Last Dragon and had a good time and all that kind of stuff, they're sitting at the house, Molly and Issa, drinking wine and talking, and Molly is so proud of herself when she's like, yeah, that nigga came through, and I sent him on his motherfucking way. I told him to get his ass packing, whoop, whoop, whoop. And Issa looked at her like you would. Like, how dare you? Who told you to do that?
Yeah. I wish that she hadn't did. What I wished is that, and obviously I know it's a TV choice because it has to create conflict and whatever. But I had wished, like, if this was a real thing, that Molly would have waited, would have just let Issa have her birthday and then say, like, look, I was trying to, like, and not even let it slip, but just say it, like, more from being forthright than it just being like, oh, yeah, well, fuck it. Because that's what it sounded. That's the way it came off. It came off like, well, Molly would, like, just didn't really give a fuck. Versus where she had just been like, look, I don't want you to be mad at me. I understand if you are mad at me. But at this time, I just thought, let's go to this and let's be focused on this. And then today, now that your birthday is over, now you can focus on this dude if this is what you want to do.
But by then, she had, like, closed off her heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the fucked up part. Like, her heart was still open to the idea, but Molly, I think that, I honestly think that Molly doing that, coupled with Nathan showing back up a couple days later, I think Molly doing that, like, effectively closed the door completely, because she might have still been mad at Molly. And then, like, it spilled over to Nathan, because to folks who don't have any issues with dealing with mental health, don't have any mental illnesses, they don't have anxiety or bipolar disorder or schizophrenia or depression or anything like that, the reason that he gave might sound like a load of shit.
Right.
But he was so earnest. And he was so sincere. And he was like, you know what? I was going through a very bad place in my head. And I had to get out of here. And I had to go back to my family. And I know I was gone, but I'm back and I'm sorry. And being somebody, first of all, before I even say that, Shantae, how'd that part make you feel?
Oh, for me, like, I am someone who is not dealing with, depression, but when I saw it, it was just like, oh, he was depressed, whether it's like clinical, whatever, diagnosis, whatever, or just, he was depressed. He was upset. And he needed to bounce. And but at the same time, it was just like, damn, that really sucks. Because I know that even though he felt the way that he felt and he did what he thought was best for him, that still hurt Issa. And I know that seems like that's the sticking place with that type of relationship. If it's somebody who is dealing with some type of mental illness, and then you have somebody who isn't dealing with some type of mental illness and they're interacting with each other and something happens with the person who is dealing with a mental illness, and the other person may not be as sympathetic or whatever. They just they don't, it's like what you said. It sounds like as far as they're concerned, without knowing what's really going on, it sounds like it's some bullshit. It sounds like this person was indifferent to their feelings and didn't care, and so the idea that they should be sympathetic to this person is just like, well, what the fuck? I was hurt. Now I gotta be the bigger person, that kind of thing. I feel like that's what happens in that type of situation. That you got this person who was hurt and now they have to be the bigger person, not realizing all the way what's going on because it didn't feel like it was explained well enough to them. Because I also think that sometimes when it is explained that the other person who was hurt, they're still hurt, but they're like, some of them are like, okay, I understand this. Even though I'm not dealing with this, they might know someone else who is dealing with this. And it's just like, okay, I get this. I understand that you're operating in a different kind of way, that you're not operating the way that I would normally operate. Yes, it hurt me, but I understand that this was not about me as a person with you doing this. This was about whatever whatever was going on in your head.
Rainebeaux?
Hey. I know nothing. I don't have cable.
Okay.
I'm just here eating, actually.
Oh, no worries. My thoughts on it was, I've been in that situation where the sun is back out. Honestly, the biggest issue that I had with that part of the show was that he got better way too quick.
Okay.
I have had depressive moments where I don't want to be around people. I gotta, it's just like fight or flight, and I gotta get somewhere where I feel safe, I feel secure. I'm in a hole, I can't find my way out. He was in a new city, he's surrounded by people he doesn't know, he needs to get back to what he feels is safe. Usually though, when I am in those holes, and this is just me, so okay, I guess I can't fault them, but usually it takes November until April, with a few dots of sunshine in the midst of all these clouds and rain, before I start feeling like I can really smile again, or be happy to be alive again, or be confident in myself again, or anything like that again. And I was telling Nisha that as soon as that sunlight comes out, you spend the first few days trying to fix friendships that you ruined. And that's what I saw in that part, was Nathan he knew that while he was saving himself, while he was doing this self-care, he ruined something that he could have really loved, or that he really did love, and he ruined someone that he really cared deeply about. And so that was the first place that he was going to. As soon as he was able, he was going there, and he didn't know how to approach it, because this was the first person in my mind. This is the first person that he had this sort of a situation with in this city. I don't remember if he had said why he had left Houston, if he had said that he had a relationship there that didn't work out, and if he had ran from there. Same way. But I feel like this is something where it's just like, okay, he was trying to get his house back in order, and Issa was like, I'm not here for that. You hurt me. I'm going to need some time, which by and large means I'm good for a really long time. And so he left. He had his heart in his hands. He left with his heart broken, and then she went inside and got her house in order. That struck me. like how clear that was, that he was coming home to try and establish a house. He was trying to establish something in LA. He was trying to put down roots. And then she went into her apartment and was like, this is not my place yet, and put down roots, got all her stuff out of boxes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was heartbreaking to me. For him to really put that out there, it's scary to disclose your mental situation, your mental health situation to anybody, especially somebody that you care about, because you're scared that they're going to run. And it felt like she looked at him with the same disdain that she looked at Daniel with. Like, you ain't, like, and he completely, like, honestly deserved it. Like, there's no, like, on her side, like, in her corner, he deserved it. The nigga bounced for a month. Mm-hmm. But I see both sides.
Right.
And I'm like, I can see how that would have happened. I know that a lot of people wouldn't be forgiving of it, but we do that at home all the time. Like, people in relationships, people in real life do that all the time. Just shut down and stop communicating. You may not flee to another state, but you shut the fuck down. You stop tweeting. You stop being on Facebook. You stop talking in the messenger groups you're in. You stop talking to people in your circle. You stop talking to your significant other, and you shut down for a while. And then when you come back out of that hole, you're all happy and free, and the sun is shining, and just waking up in the morning, gotta praise God and all that kind of stuff. Mama made breakfast with no hog and all that good stuff. And everybody else has been dealing with your cloud for like months. So you got to go back and fix that. And some of those relationships are going to be able to be repaired. Many of them won't. Nathan, I am honestly hoping that they're able to get, like to resolve that. I wasn't feeling him at all when I thought that he had just ghosted her. I wasn't. I was like, fuck that nigga. But as soon as I found out that she had written in that he had a mental health issue, I'm like, yeah, I feel that. Let's get him back in there, because this is something that we can actually talk about. And it's interesting that this season was supposed to be based on breaking down the male, the guys, and masculinity. And the last thing you see from a guy is a guy putting everything out there, because it's scary. I'm going to keep saying that. It is really scary to disclose something like that. It is. It's scary now. For me. And I do shows about it. But I also wonder, like, is somebody going to hear this? Is somebody going to read this and going to judge me for it? I'm just glad she put it out there, because she wrote that. That was an excellently written episode. Every episode has been fire. And she writes them, like, all the way through. So, kudos. The show is amazing. But that last episode, that last 5 to 10 minutes was bombastic to me. It was like, wow. I damn near cried. Damn. Just thinking about it right now got me kind of stopped up thinking about it again. It's a scary world out there, folks. Like, if you have a mental health issue, if you are living with somebody with a mental health issue, if you're living with somebody who self-harms, it's scary for both people, because you don't want to, as a person who's on the outside looking in, you don't want to push them too far, but you also have it in your mind that you shouldn't coddle them. Like, what the fuck does that mean? But you shouldn't enable them or coddle them by being sympathetic. That's what my parents thought. And so there's always this divide between the two of y'all, because when they lay it all out, you're not ready for it. Like, it's the same as being an ally. Like, being an ally to LGBTQIA folks, white folks being allies to black people. There's always going to be that moment that you are an ally and whoever you're an ally for drops a bomb that you just had never heard before, and how are you going to deal with it? Like you're not going to do something fucked up or anything like that, but you don't know how to respond to it. What do you do next? And they're watching you because they trust you enough to give you this information, but if you don't handle it correctly, they're never going to bring it to you again. I don't think that I would love for Nathan to be back, but I don't think their relationship would be the same. I don't.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be the same either. I do hope he comes back. It does seem like he was of all the men that Issa has been with, it seems like he was a good person for her. It's just unfortunate that this moment happened for him and he wasn't able to share what was going on with him in a way that could have helped salvage the relationship. And so you're right, it might be, the relationship may be irreparable at this point. Obviously it really depends on whatever type of show Issa Rae and the writers want to make. They could totally make this show and they could make it repairable, or they could make it irreparable. It does seem like one of the things that's going to be going on, to segue away from this, it seems like this is probably my criticism as far as with the show, is that it seems like this show is getting into a will they or won't they kind of situation as far as between Issa and Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
That when it first came out that Lawrence wasn't going to be in the show, I was kind of just like, yes, thank you. I'm glad that he's not going to be in the show. And then he shows back up later on, like, I don't know, episode 4 or 5, whatever it was, the Coachella episode. And then he's kind of in the show and we're watching him and everything. And it's just, I get it. Like, I get that they had, like, I feel like whatever's going on with them, like, this possibility of the will they or won't they is grounded in reality. Where, like, people who have been together for a long time, something happens, they separate, but then they're almost kind of maybe being cool with each other, and maybe they're on the verge, or there's a possibility that they could get back together, or that they're going to be in conflict with each other again, or something, because they're not so far away from each other. But it's still kind of just like, because what I wonder is, by keeping him in this show, does Issa Rae or the writers have an idea in their head that at the end of this show, when it's like, the series finale, is there going to be, is Lawrence going to still be in the picture? And is it going to be this kind of, no, she's not going to get with Lawrence, or yes, she is going to get with Lawrence. Like, she's going to go through all these situations and meet all these different men only to come back to him, kind of thing. And I guess I don't want to see that. I guess I want Lawrence to go away.
Yeah,
because I feel like as long as he's there, there's that risk that it's going to be like fucking, like Friends or something, like Rachel and Ross, where like you're watching them kind of teeter back and forth between getting together and trying to be friends and being mad at each other that they're dating other people and all this different kind of stuff, only to finally at the end get together.
I think that they're better as friends.
I agree.
I thought they vibed really well as friends, and I hope that they continue to build on that. But whatever Issa chooses to write, whatever she chooses to do, she has her reasons. It'll still work out well. I would love to see Kelly actually be in a relationship and have whoever she's in a relationship be on the show this season. I think that would be hilarious. I would be happy if I didn't see any more of Tiffany and Derek, because one of them weirds me out and the other one is just annoying. And honestly, Molly's starting to get annoying to me.
Yeah, Molly's been annoying. Molly Molly bothers me. Like, Molly really, because I feel like Molly is one of those people who keeps shooting herself in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is. It's like you got all this going for you, and you are still just making bad decision after bad decision after bad. Like, you can't pick a path and just kind of stick with that path and kind of ride it out to the end. It's like you pick a path and then it's just like, I don't like this. And you just cut the shit off and go start something up, and then you get to something else. It's like, I don't like this. And then, but you're not even like giving anything a chance.
What really made me happy was when, whatever the dude's name was, Trayshawn, the dude in the law office, walked out. Torian walked out of working with her to work with the ladies that she had left to work with Torian.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm talking about. Where like she couldn't pick a path. Like if she had stuck with those women, what would her situation be like? Or if she had just stuck with Torian, what would her? It's like she's not. And I probably said this on Why So Serious. It's like she won't she won't align herself with anyone. And I feel, and that's the whole thing. And that's why I think Issa clapped back at her. Talking about how she's basically, can't be cool with anybody at her job. Because she's just like burning bridges left and right. And it's just like, how can you do this? It's just like, that's not the way shit works. Like, you need people on your side. Like somebody. Like it could have been the women. It could have been Torian. It's like she can't. It's like she's got to have her moment in the sun right now. And it's just like you having your moment in the sun, but now you looking all screwface and people looking screwface at you. And it's like you don't have anybody to celebrate it with. You don't have anybody to be proud of it with. It's just like, yeah, you got the, you lead on the thing, but now you can't reach out to anybody. That was God saying that I was
right. Good old cosign from God. I'm looking forward to seeing the next season. Hopefully she gets fired from that job because I don't think she's happy there, and it's only going to get worse. She wants to make partner in a place where they don't really want her to be there. And you could tell that from that very first episode when they were like, CP time and talking about her behind her back. And then she had made the inroads with those ladies by talking bad about Torian. And then she immediately jumped to Torian's side to try and climb the ladder. So she just, like you said, making mistake after mistake. She just, I don't know. Like, I don't think they can have her just leave that new job and go to another new job so quickly, but something's got to happen. Rainebeaux. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Shantae.
I was going to say that we should talk about Bette Midler.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Ooh, these crackers done cracked this week, boy.
like I said on Twitter, I was just like, man, we lost Bette Midler 4 days into spooky season. Like, we couldn't even make it. Like, 4 days into October. Niggas talking about they want to watch Hocus Pocus, singing the song and shit, and just, we lost Bette Midler, man. Just lost it right there. Just R.I.P.
Damn. Like, a chip of 42, your memory.
Like Kathy and Jimmy would never. Like, I don't understand.
I mean, damn. It's cold. I'm like, did you really just, wait, what? Oh, bitch, no.
Yeah, she was tripping. She was tripping with the hell, because what she said, because for the people who don't know, Bette Midler used the fucked up quote of women And she said, women are the N-word of the world. And that quote is attributed to John Lennon and Yoko Ono. I think it's in a song. However, the actual quote that they got that from is from Zora Neale Hurston, and it's from Their Eyes Were Watching God. And she says, the nigger woman is the mule of the world so far as I can see. You know, so I'm reading that like that's the dialect and everything. And so obviously Yoko Ono and John Lennon took that quote and turned it into, you know, all women being nigger of, you know, being a nigger of the world and everything or whatever. And it's just like, well, what about black women? Like, black women exist. You know, like somebody on Twitter was like, okay, well, does that make black women like nigger squared or whatever? Like, what are you talking about? So,
Nigger.
Then she doubled down. On the shit. Like, people were basically telling her, like, delete this. And then she was just like, well, John Lennon said it, and it was right then, and it's right now, and all this different kind of shit. It was just, then she eventually deleted the shit.
But not before letting LeVar Burton down, I'm sure.
Yo, and LeVar Burton, like, bless him. Like, he tweeted at her, basically letting her know where she had the game fucked up, but then signed his tweet, Kunta. Which is just my nigga, why? God. Like, it's just like, my nigga, is she calling you Kunta? Like, are motherfuckers calling you Kunta? Like, white people? Like, is that what's hot? So, I don't know. It was a whole mess last night.
And then, man. And then, I don't know if that was last night also or earlier today, but I saw it. Molly Ringwald tweeted along the lines of Beyonce, Lady Gaga, and I forgot who else. I want to say Ariana Grande, but I can't remember that part. Should kneel down while singing the national anthem. And somebody quote tweeted her and asked, what is the point of protesting the national anthem while singing it?
Mm-hmm.
And I just sat there like, why did she do that?
Yeah. White women stay out of pocket. Like, this just jumping the gun in their attempt to talk about what's going on as far as like, you know, as far as the nature of what's going on today. You know, and it should be, you know, and the whole thing is it should be discussed. And at the same time, though, part of me is like, you know what? We need to move away from letting these celebrities be the focal point of whatever thoughts people should have about these types of ideas. Because it's just like they constantly jump bad and wrong on stuff.
Because, bitch, let me tell you what the fuck John Hughes did not fucking die for. That. Why the fuck you trying to add extra labor to black women? Come on, man. Can you fucking not? Would you kindly fucking not? Fine. You're embarrassing yourselves. Stop it.
Yeah.
Just pour your skinny bitch wine and inhale your Botox and be cool. Just sit down some fucking well, man. Be cool. We know you ain't got us. We know. It's okay. But just don't be loud and wrong, okay? Just be white, be lame, and get the fuck off the dance floor. Word to George Carlin. I can't take credit for that.
Yeah. She could have, yeah. It's just, you know, it's, you know, Bette Midler, just a lot of these white women, you know, it's white feminism, you know, TM. Mm-hmm. You know, with this, just a mess. Just, I don't know. It's just, it's hard to deal with, I think. That's what it is. It's hard to deal with because even when they're saying something, like, I feel like Bette Midler has probably said something, you know, she's been right or correct on something. But then here it is, here's a situation where people are saying like, look, you kind of are, you are hanging black women out to dry with this. Like with what you're saying, with where the quote comes from, you know, you are hanging black women out to dry on this. And then to just be like, well, it's just like, okay, great. You know, you just doing, you know, typical white woman shit.
Oh, apparently I've touched a nerve, head ass. Even white people were trying to tell her, hey, excuse me, nah, no.
Like there's no, and something else somebody else brought up is how white people will compare their, they will compare their mistreatment to the mistreatment of black people. But then when black people say that they are mistreated, the white people shout them down. You know, so there's that too. It's like this, you know, Bette Midler trying to compare everything, and it's just like, hey, that's not what this is. And it's just like, no, it's true. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, you can acknowledge your oppression without shitting on other people. I think that's really where the fucked up thing is. Because women have been oppressed. You know, like women have been oppressed. But when you take something like that and clearly put black imagery on it, you are now taking away the real pain. You are trying to downplay the real pain and turmoil that black women have went through to try to say that I'm hurt. And that's bullshit. That's not the way shit is supposed to go down. That's not an ally. Even though there ain't no allies, you know, or whatever. There's not really allies. But, you know, that's not what this is. Cause now how is somebody gonna, like, if you're really trying to be an ally, quote unquote, how is somebody gonna trust you? Cause now here's your opportunity, you know, you seize the opportunity to center yourself and step on somebody else at the same time. You're untrustworthy. You know, you're a villain. Just like the people that you're trying to criticize. You know, but shout out to First Wives Club or whatever, I guess.
I'm still gonna get Ruthless People, but this was just, whoo. See it on DVD, I'm still caught, but ma'am, nah.
Like, got motherfuckers having to feel some kind of way about watching beaches and shit. Like, the fuck?
Man.
Like, you could've kept that shit. You could've, like,
I've never even seen Hocus Pocus. I figured since it was a cult favorite, I would have gotten to it at some point. Now I'm not so sure. I don't know what the hell happened. Oh my god. Oh.
Fucking bet. Ruining spooky season. What the fuck?
Man, people on Twitter was sick. Whole bunch of them. I'm like, oh wow, yeah.
I mean, she's got some gems as far as you know, movies and stuff are concerned. Entertainment. It's always hard when a fave pops off wrong. But whatever.
Ooh. Yeah.
Did you ever notice she was my hero? She was everything I would have liked to have been. I could fly higher than an eagle until she had to fit the N-word in.
Yeah. Like, you can't even say it.
You
can't even say the shit. Like, you can't even type out the quote, but you using it. Stupid.
Don't say it. Say it with your chest.
Just disappointing.
Ain't it though?
Like, running out of white people that I can believe in.
I don't believe in none of them.
What? You married to one. What about him?
I still don't, it's like, I got us, there's just, like, there's a handful of them I fuck with. But it's like belief, like you not gonna say something out the way or whatever, knowing that you might not have, like, really, like, you not doing, like, I feel like a lot of people aren't doing, like, the anti-racist work that they need to do, so it's just like, it's really just like, it's kind of just waiting to see if you gonna pop off. That's really where, I guess that's where I am, when it's just like, I don't believe in y'all. It's just like, I'm just waiting to see, cause something's gonna happen. And we'll see if you really, when you step out of line, are you going to be the person that says, wow, I stepped out of line. I said something that hurt you or hurt someone. I said something that sounded one way to me, but it sounded a whole different way to you, and I apologize, and I really, I'm going to check myself. Or are you going to argue back and be super defensive and be an asshole and kind of have to go the long way, maybe, to get to the point where you actually apologize about some shit? I think more people end up having to go the long way because they're not doing the real work before they even get checked. So that first time they get checked, they can't even deal with it. They gotta fight back. So yeah,
My favorite
if I fuck with you, I fuck with you, but everybody's a suspect.
My favorite is when you call out an ally or somebody on something that they did, and it turns into, I have this many black friends, and it's like, wait, what? I was just saying that you got awful silent after the last black person got killed by a cop. Well, when a white person gets killed by a cop, I don't see y'all ask me for my. Oh, okay, we're here now. It didn't take long at all. We're here already. Okay, look at the time. I'm tired. Are you tired? Because I'm tired of you. So,
couldn't even give you the scenic route. Ain't that a bitch?
Right. Quickest line of racism.
No foreplay or nothing.
Right. So yeah. Rainebeaux, go ahead and do your shout outs.
I want to give a shout out to you guys, per usual. All the listeners out there. And I know some of y'all have podcasts, you retweeting and liking and stuff. I'll get to y'all shortly, or any day now. I'm just trying to heal. I'm trying to get the other part of my Nathan on, so to speak. I can't relate to the issues they're in, but I don't watch the show, so it was kind of hard for me to focus. So, but no, I can relate. I could relate to the issues at hand that were discussed. It's just been a while since I really had to deal with them, but I've just been in my own head for a long time. Anywho, shout out to the listeners once again, and shout out to me for not completely losing my shit, I guess. I don't know how this last quarter of 2018 is going to pan out. I'm trying to just keep calm. Yeah, shout out to my brain for not exploding now. Shout out to my brain for not exploding for the most part. And that's all I got. And I have, I put the thought of the podcast thing on the burner. I can stay a guest for a little while and get acquainted with folks and their shows. So I had to put that on hold, or put that on the back burner. There's a whole bunch of other stuff I'm dealing with. I had some questions answered yesterday, but I'm still a waiting game, still touch and go. But as I said, on episode 47 of Mocha Minutes, if and when I do decide to go ahead and premiere my show, might pull a Beyonce, might throw it out at like 3:27 in the morning or some shit. Like, alright, turn over, I'm out. And that'll do it. But that's all I got for now. Of course, I'll be back in a better state.
Okay. You're always appreciated. I hope you know that. Always. Shantae?
As per usual, shout out to everybody who rocks with the show. Also, if you've made it this far, and I hope you have, we are on Spotify now.
Woo!
Say that we're on Spotify now. So
snap!
You can listen to us on your Spotify app. You can follow the show on your Spotify app and get Single Simulcast and get Unburdened on your phone, on your computer. You can listen to it through your phone in your car if you got Bluetooth. You make that happen. So it's even easier to listen to us now. So check us out and tell your friends that we're on Spotify when you share the show. So they won't, so they'll see that it's super easy to check us out.
I just want to thank everybody because we are now at the point where I can actually honestly start looking for advertisers. It's been a path. It's been interesting, and it's always been with a idea of what the future was going to bring and an expectation that we were never going to get there. Well, we're getting there now, and it's thanks to y'all sharing the show with your friends, sharing shows with your family, listening to the show, and just continuing to rock with us, as Shantae would say. Last month, I can say this now. Last month, our shows, we had, I think, 3 episodes of Unburdened and 4 episodes of Single Simulcast. Our shows last month, all total, reached nearly 5,000 downloads. This month, the 4th episode of Unburdened and episode 319 of Single Simulcast have reached nearly 2,000 downloads.
That's what's up.
Well, damn. All right.
We keep growing, and I just think back. I think back to when I put out a open letter to our listeners asking for support, and was told that you gotta wait. You can't force people to support you. And back then, I was just like, y'all are just talking. Nobody's hearing what I'm saying. I thank y'all for the support. There's no other way to say it. When we put out those shows every week and tag people in the post and ask you to share the shows and whatnot, and you share them, and I come back around and I say thank you, I mean that so sincerely, like from the bottom of my heart. There's literally no other way to say it. I'm grateful. I am grateful to each person who takes time out to share our shows, because you don't have to, and yet you do. There are people in those messages who never fail. Some people will share it like 3 or 4 times. Some people share it and tag like 10 or 11 people. And that's not even talking about Unburdened. Golly. Just the response that we've gotten for Unburdened has been incredible. It's incredible. And I feel so thankful that we have gotten to a place where we're reaching people where they are. And I'm excited to see what happens next. Angela, thank you for becoming the newest Patreon member. Ricky and Sherelle, thank you for being Patreon members. Bobby Chan, thank you for being a Patreon member. Sherazar, thank you for being a Patreon member. Auntie Francine, thank you for being a Patreon member. Golly. Tally, thank you so much for being a Patreon member. Nicole, Francis, and Padawan, thank you for being Patreon members. I'm really trying to do this off the top of my head. Corbin, thank you for being a Patreon member. Erica, Thank you for being a Patreon member. And there's one more person. We are at 10 right now. And I'm not saying that like we're at 10. I'm saying that like we're at 10 and I said 9. And so there's one more person, and I'm striving so hard to just remember everybody who is with us, who's rocking with us. Angela Davis. Thank you so much. Like, we appreciate all of y'all. We appreciate the folks who are really just viewing the Patreon, just a part of it, just following it. We appreciate y'all. Because without y'all, none of this would happen. Real talk. We can't afford Libsyn without y'all. But at the same time, we can't afford to not record. Like Andre 3000 said, 3 Stack said that I can't afford to not record. We got voices, and it's got to come out. We love each and every one of y'all in a way that can never truly be conveyed. And hey, if you got a single simulcast shirt, take a selfie with it and send it to us. Send it to the Facebook page, send it to the Facebook group, send it to the Single Simulcast Twitter feed. And just let us know, we gonna keep going, y'all. This ain't gonna stop anytime soon. Unless it does, at which point we apologize profusely. We can't make up any excuse for why things stopped. Things just occurred in the background that we had no control over.
Rest assured, there's no waterbed involved.
Yeah, or foul play. Nigga.
Yeah, they're horrible. They're horrible for everything. My first and last time in a waterbed was March 1st, 1997. I would not recommend sex in a waterbed to my imaginary worst enemy.
Right. And I mean, I've seen some low down, dirty, horrible shit happen in a waterbed. Somebody tried to smother somebody in a waterbed. Like, they lifted up the water bag and tried to drop it on they pulled back a corner of it and tried to drop it on somebody.
This is a whole new show. We gotta get out of here.
We gotta go, y'all. This Single Simulcast, episode 320. Shantae,
that would have been my voicemail.
Shantae, Rainebeaux, me. Y'all be good. We're out. Peace.
Bye.
This is Single Simulcast.
Don't know by now, did you slip?